This is Leah Patrick, and I listen to those jerks over at Free Talk Live. Hey!
I'm with Lola Lady, Leah Patrick. And Leah, could you tell me a little bit about your photo shoot and the message behind it?
Sure. I'm a tattoo artist, and in order to become a tattoo artist, you actually just do a non-traditional sort of education, an apprenticeship. And a lot of states require you, all states pretty much require you to be licensed through the state, to have authority through the state to be able to do what you do. Well, because I'm a tattoo artist and I own my own business and I am in charge of my own income, I essentially am really passionate about the free market and using consumer responsibility to dictate who you get services from rather than the state. So that was my calendar shoot is actually in my private studio in my garage at the time. And Rita, one of the other Lola girls, came and shot me, and she did a great job. And so that whole thing was just basically to show that, I am the free market essentially in my garage, making my own money pretty much without any government consent, 100% without any government consent, and also with disregard to anything I'm supposedly supposed to give them. So that's why I was more passionate about that.
Do you feel that the Liberty movement is starting to grow enough feet that people can be supported by the movement? I mean, there's a lot of agorist business starting to show up. Mm-hmm. I noticed a lot in the last year or two. What do you feel about that trend?
I think it's a good idea. I think that the issue is that you have to have enough people doing it to make a difference. And, it's easy to get into the mindset of, well, I'm just one person, what am I doing, or whatever. But you can't really think like that. You have to just think of what works for you and what you feel comfortable with as an individual. I think it's almost like an integrity issue on your behalf. And then once you do that, you do what's right for you, and other people are doing the same and they think like that. It's like a sense of personal responsibility, which I think is really core to the Liberty movement, and that eventually gets enough people to make a difference.
Do you feel that they've been supportive to you? Like, I noticed when you went to Pork Fest, you were busy the whole time, I think.
Absolutely. I was completely busy. In fact, not only are they supportive, a lot of times they'll say, I'd rather get an illegal tattoo. I think it's a little bit of a rebellious thing, but I don't mind, and in a way they're saying, that I would rather support someone who's not seeking the authority of government. And I like that, I was busy the entire time. I was booked. I ended up having to turn people away. And still today I get people writing me on Facebook, I'm going to wait till you're near me so I can get tattooed by a liberty-minded person, which is really nice.
Can I see your artwork?
Sure.
This is... Any stories behind these tattoos?
Well, that's my son's name. And then this one, I got this because he's the only piece that can jump over opponents.
Oh, nice.
And then I just thought she looked free. This is actually an old tattoo design from a long time ago. And then the Liberty Bell is pretty self-explanatory. I just liked her.
How many tattoos do you have?
I've lost count, actually. I do not know, because it's kind of tricky. I have a big one on my chest. That one. But is that just one tattoo?
I don't know. I guess it is.
Right. Exactly. So,
How long, for people who have never been tattooed, how long does this stuff take?
To actually get tattooed?
Yeah, like say we took the Liberty Bell piece here.
That took about 3 hours altogether.
Do they use different types of ink now? Because I remember when I was a kid, the tattoos were just like blue.
Yes, they do. I mean, the advancements in ink are pretty amazing. There's a couple reasons why you see older tattoos so faded, but one of the reasons is because of ink. In fact, traditional style tattooing, like Sailor Jerry Collins and stuff that you've seen before, the reason that really you only see green, red, sometimes not even red, but green, red, yellow, and black. And that's the only colors they had. So, and even the red was toxic back then. So now you have just these amazing, advancements with like polymers and stuff with the ink. And it just makes tattoos a lot brighter. They don't fade as easily. And you also have people in the industry now who are actually artists, where like people back then, like Sailor Jerry, the reason things looked like that, like the pinups look a little wonky, even though I like them and they have a little look of their own, is because he was not artistic. He was in the Navy prior, and most people in the tattoo industry were not artistic. So now you have actually people coming out of art school and deciding to become tattooers because that's the only way they can really make a living being an artist. So.
Now, I've seen for a couple years that there's been talk of like a 6-month tattoo or a semi-permanent. Is that real, or is that just rumor junk?
I don't think that that's not real. But they do have an ink that they came out with, which they actually established for, they created for chemotherapy patients, or actually not chemotherapy, radiology patients, because they have to tattoo them to show, I guess, where the laser, or they have to like do a laser mark for the same when they go back. I'm not exactly sure like exactly what they do, but anyway, but it's a tattoo ink that's actually like encapsulated in its own like very small capsules, and when you hit it with a laser, when you're done with it, it disperses.
Huh.
Yeah.
I knew they had that.
So it's like a temporary tattoo, but that's not actually used in the tattoo industry. And most tattooers would probably frown upon it because most tattooers, they're traditional, old school. They just, you get a tattoo and you get a tattoo. So I think there'd be a lot of people getting things that were, there's plenty of frivolous tattoos out there now. I have some of them, but more frivolous, as jokes and stuff like that.
What about, have you ever seen the ultraviolet ones that?
The black light ones?
The black light, is that what they are?
I don't do those because they've only been out for a few years, and it hasn't really been, I'm not sure they're safe. Like, as a like responsible person who tattoos, like, I wouldn't do that. I'd be afraid that, the testing had, like, in 10 years, are those people going to get cancer? I don't know. Maybe not, but I'm not going to do that.
All right, thank you.
Okay.